mean, especially those that follow from the UK and, of course, New York. We appreciate all the time. They send their comments that they are watching the program. And to our viewers in Philippines. So we'll go straight to the newspaper review. And today we have only the Standard newspaper with us. And the headline, the main headline of the Standard newspaper reads, Gum Petroleum boss and others detained. And of course, another disqualified candidate takes IEC to court. Barrow promises more democracy if re-elected. Small boss, more than do democracy. Mr. Moj. No, it's democracy. Yes. Let's take a look at this one. GRTS issues statement on party political broadcast. And of course, Gambia Action Party endorses GDC Kande. Police take 11 Guineans to court. Gambia's Kani Job makes top 50 inspiring Pan-African female energy leaders. This is what we have, yes. It's what we have on the Standard newspaper. It's unfortunate we only have one paper today, so, you know, no Foroya, no Point newspaper. But I think the Standard newspaper have a lot to for us to discuss today. Let's start with Gum Petroleum boss and others detained.
That's the main headline on the front page.
Yes, yes. Mr. Mboj, the Gum Petroleum boss and others are detained due to some petroleum saga. It is alleged that they've been selling some petrol to businessmen in this country. And right now, the matter is under investigation. They didn't make any conclusion. But can this be the reason why we have fuel shortage recently?
Well, we do not know. We do not have the facts yet to make that leap. But and already in the report, we are told that, was it the police PRO, the police spokesperson, he said he couldn't say much on the matter because he was under investigation. And I think that we should take our cue from that. There are many facts that we do not have. So we don't want to be speculating in anything like that. Whatever was the reason for the fuel shortage, well, we've seen on our TV some time back in Britain, the long queues, people fighting. So we've seen this disruption to supply chain. That much one can say. How much of that was responsible for what happened here, we have to go into the matter further before we can say categorically, definitively that this was what happened. So we should be very careful here. If it is worth investigating, let them investigate. This is what we want. We all know how the institutions are run. We all know that corruption is rife. We all know that, but we should be careful. So let them investigate. And we hope that such investigations will get more of these investigations wherever we smell corruption, because there's a huge battle. There's a huge battle we need to do there before we can develop, before anything can happen here. We really need to take care of that. It was what Kofi Annan said. The single most important factor, really, in our development is governance, good governance. So corruption undermines it, undercuts good governance. So we'll see what happens.
I think for now we wouldn't be able to say much on this saga since it's under investigation, and let us allow the police to do their job. I'm sure within a few days or maybe in the next hours we'll get more information.
Well, it's important. There's nothing that we can do about this case right now as it is under investigation. But Mr. Mboj, I'd just like us to focus on investigations in Africa in general. There are many cases that have been investigated and still we do not get any result. So that's a problem in Africa. I don't know whether it is a problem, you know, when in other parts of the world too.
It is a problem everywhere. With governments, whenever something happens, and they form their commissions of inquiry, or they investigate this or they investigate that. So when they are done, then it will depend on the political imperatives, political interests, the power centers. So you have all sorts of factors, as it were, bearing on any kind of investigation. So this is not really circumscribed to Africa at all. It is all over the world. But we must insist That is why we wanted the Freedom of Information Act in there. So as journalists, we must be dogged in our search, you know, holding people to account, as it were, holding power to account. So we must be dogged to tell them, look, we've investigated. What are the conclusions? What are the findings? What are you going to do? You know, these are public decisions. We have a right to know. That's how democracy works. So we've got our work cut out for us.
Interesting. So let's take a look at another disqualified candidate takes IEC to court.
Well, I think since the IEC announced candidates who qualified and those who didn't make the cut, I think initially it was 2 who appealed, and then the appeals didn't go through. I mean, and then they thought, well, we will hit the courts. So now we have another one. This is Juve, right? The former Justice Minister, who, you know, applied as an independent candidate. Now, I think it's a good thing that they're trying the courts. I think this is the first time in our history we're having aspirants whose appeals have failed, you know, going to the courts. However you look at, for me, I think the timing, given how many days we have to the election, campaign is already on. What will be the outcome? How long will it take for the courts? I think there's a lot of questions really surrounding this. But for me, the good thing is, and I think we should all appreciate the fact that they're trying the courts. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It is showing us how democratic our society is now. But I think, Mr. Mboj, it will be very late for them.
Well,
because we have few weeks to election.
True, it depends on how quickly the courts deal with this one. That is the key. Joseph Juve, what bearing would it have on this? We always knew that to get the 5,000 registered voters to nominate you, and the clause, as it were, the qualification that you must have 200 from each administrative area, we knew that was going to be difficult. And let's be fair with ourselves. Joseph Juve, how many people really know him in politics, as it were? The following, what following has he got? Yeah. And all of these things. A lot of people found it, as it were, at this criterion, how to fulfill that. You remember that day when the IEC chairman was giving us the people who have qualified and those who have not. And for most of them, they really couldn't fulfill this criterion of getting the 5,000 and the 200 from each administrative area. We knew that was going to be difficult. So quite a good number. A good number of them really had no political experience. How do you mobilize? How would you get them?
Exactly. So that was part of the problems they faced. Let me take you back to candidates. Presidential aspirants. Let's talk about the qualification. I understand every Gambian, you have the right to vote and be voted for if you qualify and if you get the certain requirements. But Mr. Mboj, do you think the person who is to run our country, don't you think he should have certain qualities that should be trusted? Because we've heard from some of them when they came to the nomination ground. I mean, you can see the way they express themselves, it doesn't hold water.
But you know, that's a matter of judgment. You might think that somebody else will think something else. Yeah. So having qualities to be trusted, well, it depends. To one person, what you say might sound credible. To another person, it might sound completely balmy. Yes, in the end, that is what we want. Ideally, that's what we want. But on the ground, politics on the ground doesn't work like that. You see, that's really the great genius, the great insight of democracy. Democracy understands that, hey, look, we all cannot sing from the same hymn sheet. So they say, okay, do you know what? Give me your program, so give me your program, and Balde give me your program. We put it to the people. Yeah. Whoever wins, wins. So we experiment all the time. We experiment. Nobody can ever be prepared to become a president. So it just depends. It's a trial and error. It's always a trial and error. That is why it shortens it. You've got 5 years. Yeah. Yes. You've got 5 years. Then we'll test your ideas. If they don't work, next elections we kick you out. It's trial and error. You can never be guarantee anything beforehand. We are all professors and brilliant after the fact. They call them Professor Hindsight. We are all Professor Hindsight. But before, you really cannot see anything.
Yeah.
So we do not know. You know, from what you tell me, I'll try to test your ideas for consistency and coherence and all of that. But at bottom, you really do not know unless you try. If it fails 5 years' time, goodbye.
We'll eject you. Well, okay, let's take a look at Barrow. Promises more democracy if he is re-elected. Well, for me, actually, it's the first time I'm enjoying democracy in this country. You know, I cannot say a lot during Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara's time because I was very young. Yeah. When former president came, Jammeh, you dare not talk about anything, or you dare not against him.
Now you're getting Mr. Mboj all fired up.
Now,
you talk about Sir Dawda's
now you can sit on your radio or you sit on your television and talk about Barrow, talk about his government.
I hope I'm not an uncritical supporter of our former president, Sir Dawda Jawara. And this is really not me. You read any papers, any articles, any academic stuff, research, whatever. The whole world, everybody knew what he did here. So when I hear people talk about New Gambia, now we are doing democracy, I said, no. Let's try at least, let's put in the prefix renewed Gambia. We were teaching the rest of Africa, West Africa, how to do democracy.
Yeah, I understand you had civil servants from other countries, from within the continent, coming to Gambia to study how our system works.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah?
You remember when Suleiman Bunjak was giving his testimony, former permanent secretary of the TRRC?
Yeah.
From the period, the moment that he had his master's degree, yeah, it took him 16 years to become PS, permanent secretary. Wow. And he had the family connections. The son of the former speaker, Sir Aliu Suleiman Jack. That didn't cut him any slack. You had to go through the ranks. Yeah. That's the way to do these things. So to be permanent secretary and stuff like that, that's extremely difficult. Yes? Civil servants, we shouldn't get them tangled up in the political stuff. Governments come and go. Civil servants remain.
So
absolutely.
There was a proper system within the civil service back then.
There was a proper system. This is the stuff that was hollowed out, as it were, by the Jammeh regime. What did he do? Was it August? He took over in July. I think by October, was it? Not long from when he took over. 8 of the most experienced civil servants were retired.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? That was an act of vandalism.
Well, Jammeh, I mean, when Jammeh took over, he said some of those civil servants were corrupt, Mr. Mboj. They were not doing the things that they were supposed to do. Some of them were abusing office, using the resources that they have.
Did he ever present any evidence for that? Let's just forget about that. One cannot make such pronouncements. If you think that that is true, take me to the courts and the courts will decide. In a civilized, democratic society, you have the courts to adjudicate certain things. Assertions are not facts. Yeah. Let's be careful with that. But this is it. More democracy. Well, what does more democracy mean? Let's put the civil servants away on one side, and we give them the respect, and we let that autonomy go. It is in our benefit. The judiciary, for me, the crux of it, the heart of it all, the handrails, as it were, of our freedoms, that's the judiciary. I'm so worried about that, because whatever politicians, whatever might happen, we have this adjudicating body that is fair, impartial. That is really where my security is. Politicians will do all sorts of things, but once we've got that, that's fantastic. And then the participation. You see, when we talk about democracy, really, what are we talking about? Really, we're talking about participation.
Yeah.
We are talking about accountability. We're talking about I have my certain basic rights, and I have a body that can vindicate these rights, an independent judicial body. That's essentially what we're talking about. Democracy is about general principles of governance. what particular institutions I have or not. This can vary from country to country how we do it. Just as we've seen that presidential democracy in the US is different from parliamentary democracy in Britain.
Yeah.
They are all democracies. So let's be careful what we're talking about here.
For me, I think, I mean, one thing we cannot take away from the Barrow administration is the fact that, you know, today we're enjoying freedom. We're enjoying, you know, we're able to publicly show our allegiance to whatever political, you know, establishment, you know, one likes, and you're able to even criticize the government and the president himself, even on a public platform. This, I mean, would have been unthinkable 5, 6 years ago. So it's a good thing, and I think one of the reasons why we voted for him is for him to, you know, be there and not only protect our I mean, rights, but to create that enabling environment for all of us to be able to thrive. And I think it's a good thing to have him, you know, make that public commitment again, that if you re-elect me, I'll make sure that I continue to, you know, fulfill whatever social contract I have with you. It's a good thing anyway.
Okay, interesting. It's a good thing. Police take 11 Guineans to court. They're accused of, on 2 counts, obtaining money by false pretense and conspiracy.
Conspiracy to defraud.
Defraud, yeah.
Absolutely, yes. This is also, I think, what the lawyers call sub judice. Is still going to court.
Yeah.
So we know from journalism school that you must be careful when cases are in court. So we'll see what happens. But perhaps the larger point, how can we say this without being necessarily controversial? Recently, we also heard about certain thieves, Nigerians, now Guineans. There was a time I've heard about Senegalese. We should be careful. It appears as if, because of this new democracy, you have all the people in the sub-region, perhaps some of them criminals, thinking that we are easy. For some reason, I have even heard people say stuff like that you can just come and do whatever you like. So we want the police to be firm and be investigating and to let our neighbors, we are cousins. Absolutely, we all want to be together, but Gambia is not easy. Don't think that you can just come and commit any crimes in court. So let us be careful that we are not attracting all these adventurers, I call them even pirates, as it were, to come and start doing all this awful stuff.
Yeah, recently, I said to myself, I mean, most of these crimes committed in this country, when it comes to maybe stealing, you know, it involves nationals from different countries. You can just, recently QTV published a story on some Nigerians aided by a Gambian, and now we are having Guineans again. So what I think is people are using that, that excuse to come to the country. Like you mentioned, Gambia is a very easy country, but it's not easy as it seems.
Well, we must make sure that it isn't. It just depends on what we do, okay? So whenever we hear the police apprehend this or apprehend that, they're taking the court, fantastic, we love that. Perhaps what we do not know is sort of like, but how many of them are getting away with it? Because all we hear are those who have been aborted. But those who have been successful in their criminal endeavors, we really do not know. So all of us, citizens and police, because the police, they rely on citizens to give them information, tip-offs and that sort of thing. So we must be wary, we must be on the lookout, for when we see these things, we report it. Otherwise, we are the ones who will suffer. As it were, we are the ones that will break into your home, or they will try to fleece you of money or property and all of these things. And just to send out a clear message that all good citizens, good people who have productive things to contribute to our society, you're welcome. But if you're a criminal, you also have the police structures that can go and apprehend you, investigate, apprehend you, lock you up.
Absolutely. Interesting. Maybe we can just take one more story before we say bye.
I think we have about, what, 2 minutes?
It's almost time. GRT.
It's about Remembrance Day.
Okay. Yes, Remembrance Day. Let's do that. It's important. As you know, Gambia, it's not a small country when it comes to Remembrance Day, Mr. Mboj. I mean, last week we've seen officials went to the Fajarawa cemetery and they did a whole lot of stuff. Remembrance Day is important. But Mr. Mboj, I'm not very happy when it comes to certain things connecting Remembrance Day because you can see families of these people that contributed to the First World War, and some of them are still here. You can still see some of them will tell you, I'm a grandchild of so and so and so. But what are they doing for these children, Mr. Boy?
Yes, the forgotten soldiers, not just the First World War and the Second World War. This Remembrance Day was celebrated based on the First World War, the Armistice Day on the 11th of November at 11 a.m. And I understand that about 11 people died in the First World War. And then you come to the Second World War. Only yesterday we were reading about Ibu Jangha, 102-year-old. Apparently he's the last surviving of the Gambia regiment in the Second World War, where also we lost lots of people. So yes, and it's been a shame, really. Historians have been writing about this for a very, very long time, that the contribution of Africans, yes, was really never acknowledged to the level that it should have been. What they should have been given, they don't give them that, and that is really a shame. Because when I was just reading about the Burma campaign, how gallant the Gambian soldiers were. Apparently, even Ibu Jang has said somewhere that whenever they caught, there was a time when they caught some Japanese as prisoners of war, and the Japanese looked at him and said, Gambians, small but hot. Extraordinary.
Yeah, I read the page.
You read that page.
Quite interesting.
So we contributed. Remembrance Day is for all of us. We just shouldn't think that, because Britain, they lead in this. I mean, they take the leading role in these commemorations. We just shouldn't see it as their event. It is ours. We've had people die in this, apparently, to defend liberty, as it were. So we are very much part of this Remembrance Day, and we should be proud of that. Can you imagine, for instance, in the Second World War, if Hitler, for instance, had won? One shudders to think what would have happened to the whole world. So,
well, they sacrificed their lives, I mean, to make sure we enjoy what we're enjoying today, Mr. Mboj. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Momodu Mboj, for joining us on the newspaper review. Be reminded it's this morning, and of course, this program is sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions. And coming up next, it's our community watch fire outbreak in London Corner. We'll just take a look at that video and we'll be back.
The incident occurred on Sunday at around 4 p.m. When we visited the compound today, we found family members sitting outside and desperate for help. According to them, the fire was caused by a faulty electricity socket in one tenant's bedroom. Mohammed Conte, from whose house the fire started, said he was away when he received a call and heard his wife and children shouting for help. Then the neighbors rose to try to put out the fire, but it was too late.
Thanks to the neighbors. They play a great role. Fire service, they call them, they don't respond. They only respond when everything is finished. That's the time they arrive here. Thanks to Allah, nobody die. But for property, only this close with me, I don't remove anything. The money, document, property, everything, we lost everything. We don't remove anything. We are just seeking for help. That's the only message I have now. Because we don't have shelter now. We don't have clothes to wear, anything.
Sally Conte, Mohammed's wife, a market vendor, says she noticed the fire when she returned from accompanying her sister, who came to visit.
Our food items, money, bowls, beds, suitcases, Documents and clothes, among other belongings, are all burned to ashes, leaving us with only the clothes we have on. We are homeless without food, cash and clothes.
Jeneba Jallo and other victims said the fire consumed all their household items, including money, clothes, furniture and other food items, amongst other valuables. The mother of 9 said they are poor, and the fire has taken the little they have saved to sustain their family.
I was not at home at the time of the incident. When I got back home, it was too late to remove the contents from the house. The whole house was in flames.
The victims thanked their neighbors for helping them to try to put out the fire. However, the inferno has burned all their belongings to ashes according to them. The victims are seeking help from government, donor agencies, individuals, philanthropists, and the public. Reporting for KTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
Welcome back from that break. You are watching QTV. This morning, I'm Ibrahim Balde. I'm joined by my colleague Ansumana Eso Nyasi. And of course, this program is sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions for all your water dispensers and of course filters. Water is a source of life. Just go window shop. I mean, you might see things that you like. And on our community watch, we'll be looking at a story, the video that you just watched. I mean, a devastating fire at London Corner on Sunday afternoon, leading to a very, very severe incident. And I have with me Mr. Omar Let, my boss himself, and of course Mohammed Conte, yeah, one of the tenants. Welcome to the program, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yes. First, I'll start with Mr. Let. Mr. Let, we've seen you on TV. I mean, you went to London Corner, at least to see how best to comfort these families. It's not easy. How did you find this?
Thank you very much, Mr. Balle. It's nice coming to QTV, especially the morning show, which is very important to a lot of viewers. I mean, it has inside stories which are very pertinent to the country. So, thank you. Regarding your question, really, whenever, I mean, incidents like this, the storm incident, the fire incident, whenever they happen, people get very concerned. Concerned about security, especially about products that come into the country. Because from what I hear, most of the incidents, the fire incidents, are from electricity problems. Yes. And this could come from, well, inefficient wiring, but it also could come from products that are substandard. When I went to visit the victims, what we noticed was that nothing came out. In fact, one of the tenants, a lady, I think it was Jainaba, she tried to pick up a suitcase, and whilst running to come out, she couldn't even see anything. It was all black, thanks to the neighbors who pulled her out. And of course, she had to surrender the suitcase and everything that was in the house. Not bed, not wardrobe, everything was burnt to ash.
Okay, all right. We'll come back to you, Mr. Let. Let's engage Mr. Conte. Can you tell us how this incident happened?
Well, unfortunately, I was not there. I was at home from morning up to some minutes after 3. I said, let me go and buy cash power. So the moment I left,
5 minutes. You know, Nawek from our area to Nawek is not too much. It's not a long distance. I went with a bicycle. So I buy the car. So when I was coming, my daughter, she flashed me. But I don't pick the call. She flashed me about 5 times. Unfortunately, I did not have any credit. So I said, let me rush. On the way coming, I just saw fire, smoke. I said, oh, there's a problem. My house is on fire. So I went, I rushed. People grabbed me and said, no, don't go. I said, but I leave my 2 children, 4 years, 8 years. I said, I left them here. So I want to see them. So I went, is there somebody who knows the place, the smoke was too much. I said, no, they are not here, they are out. I said, okay. So I go out, I see them, I said, okay, thank God. So I help these youths, most of them are girls. No, there is no water. But that day, I don't know where water come from. Everybody play a great role. A great role. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, it's important sometimes to know, to establish the facts. I mean, the reason for that fire. I understand from the story that it started from one of the houses.
From my own apartment. Yeah, I'm the last apartment. You know, when I came, when I saw my daughter ask, what was the problem? She told me she was inside the toilet. The younger brother was standing the corridor. Yeah. So she just had something spark, huge fire, boom. So she ran away and called the other auntie. When that auntie came, she was afraid because she has a young baby. At that time, the smoke already took over. So she also ran away. So my daughter just tried and carried the younger brother outside. So that's all I know.
Yeah. So in terms of some of the things that you've lost, I mean, from what I heard from Mr. Led, it appears not much was recovered.
Oh, no. I lost. You know, I'm a technician, conference technician. So I lost everything, even musical sets, laptops, desktop. I lost, I cannot remember. I lost most of those things. Everything was burned. I cannot even, the cloth I wear remain with me. Yeah. There is no way to enter. You cannot enter.
Okay. Were you able to access the fire service? I mean, were they called to come so that they can put out the fire?
Oh, yeah. Because my neighbor, he went there, touched his tongue. What he told me. He went there, he talked to them. They replied, there is no fuel. So we called Kotu, the same problem. The one at Bakau. They are the one who come.
Well, so I don't know what is happening, because I can remember we invited the public relations officer of Gambia Fire Service here. He said they are ready and set to go. I mean, their tankers are always with water and they are on standby all the time. So me hearing this kind of story, it's definitely unfortunate.
Yeah, I want to believe maybe the recent fuel shortage may have also affected them. However, these are I mean, institutions that are providing very, very important service, and we should always have them prepared, unfortunately. But yes, so I guess we'll introduce the other story, and then we'll engage Mr. Letternet as well.
Well, viewers, after the fire incident, as you know, the Q Group Foundation, we are always busy trying to make sure, I mean, we create something for the people of this country. We'll take a short video of this and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
The November 7 fire destroyed a row of houses occupied by 5 families, leaving the tenants homeless. Being the philanthropist arm of the Q Group, the foundation is known for taking the lead in responding to emergencies and people's needs, including fire and windstorm victims, overseas treatment for patients, and scholarships for students, amongst others. Omar Let, handing over cash to the victims on behalf of the Q Group Foundation, said both the CEO of the Q Group, Mohamed Jah, and the executive director of the Q Group Foundation, Asad Jah, became aware of the incident while watching QTV News and immediately decided to support the victims.
We are here from the Q Group, that is QCell, QTV, QuantumNet, and so on, to come and see the damage caused by the fire. We understand that there were 4 apartments involved, So we've come to see and to sympathize with you. You know, I mean, from the Q group, we are concerned about people who live in the Gambia, about the citizens, and even, you know, guests who are here to do good jobs. So whenever we see such things, we are very sympathetic, especially our chairman, CEO, Mohamed Jah, and the executive director, Madam Jah. In actual fact, from the Q Group Foundation, I was asked to come and, see you, see how we can help each other, but also to give you this envelope for you and your family. We know it will not solve the problems, but it will help you to start off.
On behalf of the victims, Mohamed Conte commended the CEO of the Q Group and the executive director of the foundation, describing them as real patriotic Gambians who are not only there for their business, but for the people in times of need. Mr. Conte further welcomed the initiative of the Q Group Foundation, describing it as generous and timely.
I'm full of joy. I thank the Q family, Mr. Jah, the wife, the workers. I appreciate. May Allah give you people more health and energy to continue your good job you are doing. I appreciate. I thank all of you for coming here. From the one when this problem starts, you people are here with us. We appreciate it with my family. With the tenants, I really appreciate.
Aissatou Job, Jeremiah Jallo and Mariam Okeyo, all victims, also thank and pray for the Q Group Foundation and call on the government, philanthropists, individuals and the private sector to emulate the Q Group's initiative. The Q Group Foundation was established in 2016 to streamline support for national development in health, education, youth development and entrepreneurship, amongst others. Reporting for QTV News, I am...
After that video, our reporter Omar P. Jallo was there, to follow the presentation of the cast from the Q Group Foundation. Mr. Light is someone who will never relent when it comes to working with people, helping them all the time. So when I watched that video on the news, I was like, well, this is Mr. Light for you.
Well, I personally, I am very proud to be a part of this family that is not only generous, but also a family that has the interests of Gambians at heart. And I think time and time again, they've manifested this. And we honestly have to continue to pray for their well-being, as Mr. Conte also rightly stated.
Absolutely.
But yes, for the Q Group, Mr. Led, what does this mean for the Q Group?
Well, first of all, the Q Group is very concerned about giving back to society, meeting our social obligations, and also particularly youth, women, of course, the vulnerable groups. Because we know that these people are the future leaders of this country. And the women are, you know, the caretakers of the families. So whenever incidents like this happen, we are very concerned. We would do all we can to assist. Of course, we know there are institutions, government institutions that are in place. We know there are bilaterals, multilaterals, but as Gambians, we always want to show good examples. So that if every other able organization, company is able to emanate the same, then Gambia would be in a very good position to take care of things themselves.
Yes, and so that takes me back to the Ndogu. As you know, QCell every year, we go around the country to do our Ndogu, the Q Ndogu thing. There was a time the CEO made a very important speech. He said, I mean, I'm putting this on television. Doesn't mean I want to show off. I'm putting it on television because I want people to emulate you know, and do the same thing. You understand? So Q Group are known for this. Mr. Le, how did the whole idea came about, maybe presenting this cast to these people?
Well, the idea came about when the incident was covered by QTV, and fortunately, some of us saw it, and then we called each other and exchanged views. And then, of course, with emergency aid, you don't waste time.
Yeah.
So the decision was made almost immediately. And the next thing, the executive director asked the accountant to prepare something. I called Mr. Conte because his number was the only one we had, and he was able to coordinate for us to meet them. I mean, for him, I mean, he's not lazy. He was all the time in the move, so we had to try to work out a time, and then, well, he contacted all the other neighbors who were victims of the same, and then, of course, we did the needful.
Important. So, Mr. Conte, I mean, I have a question for Mr. Conte. If you were to ask for help, what would it be? What do you need most now?
Shelter. That is my most important thing, shelter. Because right now my children don't have anywhere to sleep for the moment. Only there's a Sierra Leonean mosque at Churchilltown. Yeah.
You're sleeping at a mosque right now?
No, they give us a single room there.
Okay.
That is where presently we are.
The single room is at the mosque?
The single room in the mosque, yeah.
That's where you're sleeping now?
Yeah, sleeping
so
now.
You need shelter most?
Shelter most, yeah.
Okay. Well, I know as much as you are given a single room to shelter for the meantime, it will not be as comfortable as your own house.
Yeah.
Well, we are calling on
exactly.
yes, organizations, I mean, people who want to help to come on board and support these fire victims. It's important.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's an important message, and I would like to emphasize this as well. The Q Group has taken the lead. We are calling on anybody who could support to come forward and support. I mean, Mr. Conte and his entire family. I mean, they need help most right now, as you can see on your screens. So it's really you know, that bad. They just need support, and we also want to thank Mr. Lett and the entire Q Group Foundation as well. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. This is what we have on the Community Watch. Mr. Lett, thank you for coming on this program, and hope to see you again to engage you on other things too. Not about the fire this time, next time, but on other positive things.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, Mr. Conte, for joining us on this program. And I hope very soon you will get out of this. Thank you. Viewers, we'll take a short break. After the break, the program continues. Remember, One Stop Water Solutions is our official sponsor on this platform. We'll be back.
Gambia's fastest growing network, and enjoy high-speed 4G LTE. Dial *335# to subscribe to QCell's 4G LTE service. There's no need to swap your SIM. QCell, Senior Boss. We innovate, others follow. Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower, and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sinu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Light, From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
To build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
With ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow. To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world. Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, Q Money and Ria just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from Ria directly into your Q Money account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any Q Money agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, Q-Power, and other Q Money services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back, and now it's time for some sports. I want to say let's have some sport with Mimi. Yes, Esho.
Something else.
Yes, Mr. Ade, why are you not in your sport gear?
Because, you see, you want me to give away trade secrets now. We were trying to reach Dubai, but that wasn't happening because I was meant to present the newspapers today. But because of sort of technical difficulties, I'm presenting sports. Otherwise, I would have been in my tracksuit.
Well, I love the shoes anyway.
At least I've got
yes, you look sporty.
Thank you. I'm trying to look sporty. Yeah.
So what do we have on sports?
For those who are followers of football, Ibrahima, it is the crunch time for African football in terms of World Cup qualifiers, and it's finally poised, one might say. What we have is 5 teams have already qualified, and 5 more teams are on the verge of qualifying. And today and tomorrow, so that's the 15th and 16th, we'll know who else is joining the 5 that have already qualified. Now, the ones who've gone through already: Mali, Egypt, our neighbors Senegal, Ghana and Morocco. And some exciting games were played over the weekend. Probably none more exciting than Ghana versus South Africa, because that one, it was a case of whoever won would go through. And so what you had was Ghana won 1-0. And actually, if South Africa, had kind of won that, then that's it. And they finished level on points. Yeah. So they had the same number of points, but unfortunately, South Africa are out. It's a shame, really, because the Africa group is really, really tough. And so 5 groups decided. So those groups are E, F, G, H, I, and the ones I've just read out. E, F, G, H, I, yes. And the ones undecided, A, B, C, D, and J are the undecided ones. And of the undecided ones, it's amazing because in many of the games, you've actually got first and second playing each other, just the way it's happened. And so in one game, one of the giants is going to go out because you've got Cameroon against Ivory Coast. 1 point separating them. And of course, again, whoever wins that one goes through. And so, for African football fans, it's going to be a shame that, either Ivory Coast or Cameroon are not going to be at the next World Cup because, even for the teams that have gone through, of course, what we have to say is that we're talking about, because if you know your maths, you'll think, hang on a minute, 5 teams through, 5 to go through, that's 10, and Africa only has 5. well, you're good at maths, because it means that even those who have got through, they still have another hurdle to jump over. That hurdle is they have to play another one of, sort of home and away game against the other 5, and those draws. But it's amazing really that we've reached this stage, and sometimes by the time we get to this stage, all the groups are sewn up. But this time, just kind of symmetry. You've got 5 gone through and 5 waiting to go through. And some of the ones who are waiting, of course, Nigeria, I've already mentioned. Tunisia, by no means certain of going through. Normally, you'd expect Tunisia to go through in a group, but Equatorial Guinea have been a real surprise, and they could end up, beating, jumping over Tunisia and going through. For me, it's quite amazing. My name is Ade, which is obviously a Nigerian name. And many people know that my favorite country is Cape Verde. And so Cape Verde and Nigeria play each other tomorrow, and whoever wins that one goes through to the next round. So really, really exciting stuff, and lots of stuff to look forward to. So, on the African scene, as I said, it's a shame, that, a team like South Africa, they're not going to be there because they're already out. But in some of the other teams, groups rather, some of the teams just walked away with it. Morocco won their group quite easily. I think they were 11 points clear, by the time they played their last game. So really, really good stuff. So that's for Africa. But for the rest of the world, of course, it's been going ahead. Argentina, I think they beat Brazil 3-0.
Yeah. Yes.
But Brazil already qualified. So I guess, the game wasn't the sort of same intensity. And in Europe, I guess one of the shock results, I watched the game, Serbia against Portugal, and Portugal were at home. Renato Sanchez scored after 2 minutes to give them the lead against Serbia. But I tell you what, Serbia dominated the match, were the better team by far, and deserved to win. And 89 minutes and 32 seconds on the clock, it was 1-1, and they got a winner, Serbia, in Lisbon, to leave lots of Portuguese crying, including Cristiano Ronaldo, because it means Serbia have gone through. And Portugal, they're not out of it yet, but they have a playoff. And so they have one game, which is a one-off, it's not two-legged, and then if they win that one game, they have yet another game. So still a lot for them to do to get through, because too many teams in Europe, and so they're trying to squeeze it through. And then hopefully one day we'll be talking about Gambia in this sort of position.
I hope so. On the African qualifiers, I mean, you mentioned that it would be shameful to have, one of those two, Ivory Coast or Cameroon out. The Ghana-South Africa game too, for South Africa, unfortunately, I mean, the last time they played in international competition is when they hosted the World Cup.
Yeah, that's right.
And so they're not playing next year's AFCON too.
That's right.
It's about time for South African football.
I mean, for them, it was particularly painful, this defeat, because guess what? This was their 6th match, and they had not lost any of the previous 5.
Yeah.
If they'd not had a couple of draws and had 2 wins or 1 win, they would have gone through instead of Ghana. So imagine the only game you lost is the one that ends up eliminating you from the contest. So really, really painful for them. And they played really well. It was a good game, end-to-end stuff. It wasn't cagey, as many people thought it would be. What you had were 2 teams really going for it and just throwing caution to the wind. But, Ayew, Andre Ayew, actually playing his 100th game for Ghana. So it was quite fitting that he should be the one to get the only goal of the game. And it was a good goal as well. And of course, him and his brother, Andre and Jordan, they're sons of Abedi Pele, Gambian legend. So,
and for the Ivory Coast, Cameroon too, powerhouses. For Cameroon, since they're hosting next year's event, it's been good for them. But if they miss out on the World Cup too,
that would be a bitter blow, because for many people, when they think of African football, kind of international, they think of Cameroon first. If you say to them, World Cup and an African team, many people would name Cameroon as one of the first 1 or 2 or 3 names that will come to mind. Senegal played as well. And I was saying to Esso earlier, Ismaila Sarr, who plays for Watford, scored.
I understand he scored a wonderful goal.
One of the goals of the season so far. Fantastic goal from out on the wing. Nobody thought he was going to shoot, and brilliant goal. It will be shown 1,000 times. So, they'd already won anyway. They'd already qualified anyway, but they still go through. But yeah, I mean, for Cameroon, it will be a shame. Yes, they're hosting AFCON, but it'd be great to host AFCON and go to the World Cup in the same year. So, you know, that one is going to be tense. And Ivory Coast know that every time they play Cameroon, it's never an easy match. And both teams know that.
So it's been one of mixed feelings, exciting moments for others.
Yeah,
and
like I said, for African
for the rest, it's
fans, you know, and you know, in a sense, what has hindered us is that African teams didn't do particularly well at the last World Cup, and so we weren't awarded another place. Had, you know, one of our teams got to, I don't know, you know, quarter-final or something, then, you know, that would have been the thing that would have given us another place. And that's why we have, you know, all these great teams facing off against each other. I mean, but I think the one that's the kind of shock is that Algeria, the African champions, they're by no means certain of going through. They could be knocked out, you know, if they don't win tomorrow, they'll be out.
So there's a high possibility we'll have many big teams missing out.
Big teams missing out. Yeah. If Cape Verde beat Nigeria, Nigeria out, Cape Verde through. Oh. I mean, that's like really, really small team beating one of the biggest. You know, in fact, it will be the team with the smallest population beating the team with the biggest population. So lots of intrigue in that particular game. You know, and a good game. And again, I watched the Cape Verde one against Central African Republic, 2-1. Cape Verde came from a goal down, equalized, and then in the 75th minute scored a header which had crossed the line. The defender thought he'd cleared it, but unfortunately he was inside his own goal when he headed it out, and the ball was well over the line.
Whoa. Interesting.
Yeah. So exciting games.
Right.
Exciting games.
A lot of things happening in the world of sport.
Indeed.
Any other thing?
Yeah, I mean, our colleague Gajaga, he's in Dubai, and the Gambian volleyball team, women's volleyball team, they have actually surprised, I think, even themselves, one has to say, because they've been playing against professional volleyball players. And in games, even the ones they've lost, they've really held their own. But over the weekend, and people will be able to see it on the news this evening, they played two professional teams, and they beat them.
And they beat them.
Both the teams. Sharjah Ladies Club, which is one of the biggest sporting clubs in the Emirates. They beat them in, you know, two of their separate teams. The Gambian ladies came out top, and like I said, these are women who play professionally. They're not some amateur team that they're playing against, and of course our women are not professional.
Well, Mr. Ade, I always say this. I mean, I think the problem that we have with Gambian sports is the facilities. If we have very good facilities, you can see these people, they went to Dubai, 2 weeks training, and they are able to perform this way.
I mean, one of the losing players for the Sharjah ladies team said she was amazed at the ability of the Gambian women, and the person speaking, as I said, is a professional, and for them to, and they beat them soundly. They beat them 3-0 in the second game. It wasn't close. You know, they were blown away. Like some of them have probably not even heard of Gambia. And yet, here you have a team from Gambia beating a professional team. These people, this is what they do for a living. And they beat them, and beat them comprehensively. So, fantastic. And as I said, watch the news tonight, and you'll see a great report from our colleague, Mamadou Gajaga.
All right, watch the news tonight and see a great report from our own Gajaga, our own John Champion.
The man from Brikama.
Exactly. So, well, thank you, Mr. Ade, for coming on this platform. Interesting. Why am I not aware? All this thing is happening in football. And I'm still sitting here looking at myself. I don't even know.
Is it because you're not interested in football?
I don't even know.
He's a full man. They deal with,
I don't even know.
Deal with what? Goats and cattle and...
You see the problem.
And Smiling Coast.
All right, thank you very much. We'll be right back after the break, and click. Coming next, we'll be back.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
To build.
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
Light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
With ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, Q Money and Ria just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from Ria directly into your Q Money account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any Q Money agent across the country to receive your payment for free or use the money immediately to buy credit, Q-Power and other Q Money services. It's fast, safe and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply. To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Welcome back from that break, and of course we are back again on our favorite segment, the click segment. All play no work make Jack a dull boy, and all play no work make Jack a dull boy, or play work make which one? All work no play make Jack a dull boy.
Exactly.
All play no work make Jack a dull boy. So we are back again. We're gonna play click, man. We are here.
Good morning, guys. I'm Skengman Susie. And trust me, the day has already started, man.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm having fun with you, bro. Trust me. I'll play no work, make Jack a dog boy, like you said. I'm Skengman Susie, and welcome to the Click segment that comes away from Monday to Thursday. And in the studio with me today, I have Asidik. Welcome to the show, bro.
Yo, good morning to everyone. I am Asidik. You don't know, in the building.
For real, man. This guy is doing great in the industry, man. He's a producer and an artist as well. So we want you to tell us about you actually, bro. Let the fans out there get to know you, bro.
Okay, I am Asidik, an upcoming Afrobeat artist. Yeah, of course, I'm a Gambian. I'm from T-Town, Talinding.
Shout out to all the T-Town massive people them out there, man.
Yeah, man.
You just dropped a music video not long ago.
Yeah, cool.
It's fire, man, bro, to be honest, man.
Yeah,
let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about the project as well you're working on as well. But first, let's talk about the music video.
Yeah, the music video, the song is called Sense, and it's from my EP called Acidic. Yeah, the EP is called Acidic, the EP itself. That's the first single from the EP. Yeah, I'm having like 7 tracks in the EP. Yeah, that's what the next song called Consimbaro, Me and Attack.
Okay, you did a song with Attack
with
as well
Attack,
from the EP?
Yeah, from the EP.
Like how many, like what I want to know is, does your production aspect of work affect your music career as well? Because you're doing production and you're doing music as well. You're recording at Stylish. You think you're working with Stylish as well. Yeah. So how did you combine both of them, being a producer and being a musician?
Yeah, I think it's the same work. It's the same feel because it doesn't affect my music. Anytime I want to record, I record. Anytime I want to do anything, it's just like, but I do like recording other artists like every day. That's normal. It's like the same work though.
Yeah, because I've seen you recording so many artists. Most of the superstars out there, man. This guy is doing great, man, to be honest, man.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk about your music career itself. When did you start it? When did you start music, actually?
Like, I've been doing it like for 4 to 5 years, but like I started recording like early last year. Yeah.
Okay, you started focusing into music last year.
Last year, yeah.
Itself. Are you signed into any recording label? Because I see you work with Stylish.
Yeah.
And he's having a Stylish House recording label. So
yeah, that's Stylish House, but I'm on the Vivid Entertainment. Yeah.
And shout out to all the people that are doing great in the Gambian music industry. Hussein shows on Saturday was a shutdown. We're going for a short music commercial break, and when we're back, we'll continue the interview. Okay. Let's watch this video by Asidik. It's a fire, man. The video is lit, man. And shout out to Ann Visual as well for putting justice into the work that he does for my nigga, man. Yeah. Let's watch this and come back.
It's music. When everything I'm doing makes sense, I'm a little bit. Not for any day. Before do that. I will be the one man that you see every night and day. Not for any day. You give me fire, give me sensei. Girl, it drives me like a Bentley. Access granted, you can spend my money. Wait till it contain your money, When everything I'm doing makes sense, I'm a little bit, not for any day. If you do that, I will be the one man that you see every night and day, not for any day. Yeah, I left the fire where you're blazing like dragon. Too speedy and it's lifting like the wagon. I know you wanna be a friend to my python. Your love is spinning in my heart like an iron. I can come in the yard like this so nice. I love that I can free, silly for life. And you go the DJ, I don't my mind. I don't my mind. When everything I'm doing makes sense, I'm a little bit, not for any day. Before do that, I will be the one man that you see every night and day. Not for any day.
I'm like, what?
Whoa.
Is he a
Gambian?
Gambian? Sick music video out there, man.
Skegman.
Bala is asking me whether he's a Gambian.
Is he a Gambian?
He's a Gambian, bro. For real, man. Let's talk about the video, bro.
Yeah.
The video, the quality is really good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The song production too is massive, man. It's a good one, bro.
Yeah.
And visually, you're doing great, bro. I'm
Yeah,
proud
and
of you,
did
bro.
great.
Trust
And
it.
did great. Yeah.
Let's talk about the video, bro.
Yeah.
How many days did it take to shoot the video?
The video?
And, like, yeah, the concept of the video as well. Who worked on it actually?
Yeah, the concept is Andy and Anne. Yeah, both of them. And the video is just one day.
Oh, it was a one-day shooting.
One day shooting, yeah.
I can see Andy's doing great as well, man. Shout out to my brother Andy Spike. There was a shutdown on Saturday, bro. Trust it, man. There was a shutdown, man. Now let's talk about your music career, bro.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the EP. 7 tracks from the EP.
Yeah.
When are you thinking of releasing the EP? And how many collabos do you have in the EP? Any international collabos, or is just you alone and some Gambian artists as well?
Some Gambian artists. I have Tifli. I have Chanda. I have Attack. I think it's only those two.
It's like you having all the big names from the EP, bro.
Yeah.
To be honest, man.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, how many visuals are you working on? Because this is the first visual, is it now?
Yeah.
And
me and Attack, we are shooting that video. Me and Tifli. Like, I'm gonna shoot like 4 to 5 songs though.
Okay, from the EP as well?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like 5 songs from the EP, which means 7 songs all together in the EP as well.
Yeah.
In it?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the Gambian music scene itself, man. What is your take on the Gambian music scene? Is it growing bigger or is it just still the same?
Yeah, like recently, I'm very proud of the boys because I think it's growing. Like it's growing like rapidly, and yeah, I'm proud of them. But me also, I wanted to let a footprint there. Like I wanted to take it to another level, like a next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we believe the producers too has a lot of role to play when it comes to the Gambian music industry.
Yeah.
Both the visual directors and the audio producers as well.
Yeah.
And you as a producer actually, as a music producer and as a musician as well, what are you putting in place to make sure you have that unique sound that people recognize outside, that this is Gambian?
Yeah, that's why I'm mixing and blending with the Mandinka and the Wolof. As you can see, my like Wolof, my like Mandinka Tabet. Like when you listen to my sound, like the sound, you feel like this is international, but the language will tell you like he's from Gambia.
Gambia, exactly.
Yeah, because I use Mandinka, I use Wolof. Yeah, and the words I'm using, they are just common.
Yeah, I have heard
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So now let's talk about this. As an artist, we all know you guys aim at something. You want to get at the peak. You want to get up there. You want people to look up to you and be like, yeah, this guy started from a long way and now he's somebody. It's like, what is your plan for this year and next year as an artist?
Like lot of hit songs. I'm not talking about just songs. Like lot of hit songs coming from me. Like I'm working like every day and night.
Apart from the songs, are you planning on studying any shows? Any show for yourself?
Yeah, that depends.
Like when do you have in mind? Is it this year or next year?
Maybe next year, not this year though. Maybe next
year.
And
I want to ask this question because people keep asking me this question. Like they said, some of the Gambian artists always try to, have beef with other artists as well. What is your relationship with other Gambian artists in the music industry?
Yeah, I'm good with everybody. I don't have beef with nobody.
I don't think it's good for you to have beef actually.
No,
yeah, because you trying to be somebody out there, so you just be down to art when it comes to meeting them as well. And Saturday, it was a massive performance from you at QCT. Let's talk about that, bro. It's like, the guy I'm seeing now is a shy type. Trust me. The guy that I saw on Saturday, it was a different person, man. He wasn't dancing and vibing as well. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm very proud of Hussein Dada because, that's a very big platform and all of that. And, like being at that platform, it means a lot to me,
And trust the Gambian artists are doing great, to be honest. Hussein, man, it was not a surprise actually because, he's down to art, he's cool with everybody, and then he's good as well. So people were really happy seeing him that night because he's come through a long way and he's played a great role in the music industry as well. So his event was a massive one. Trust it, no cap on that. Hussein deserves all the credit that he got on Saturday, man.
I have a message for Acidic.
Yeah.
That video quality. Keep it there, man.
No, exactly. I think the video quality should just be like that,
quality of the video is
and trust it, Anne is doing great as well. Anne has been doing a lot of videos for Gambian artists, but trust it, the quality is just A1, man. You cannot compare it to any other quality, man. He's doing great, man. Now, your final words to your fans out there, and then we wrap it up, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, thanks to everybody watching out there. Like, I love everybody. I love all my fans, and I would like to thank you. And Andy as well, and Stylist,
for real,
and
man.
all the Vivid members.
No, before we take a leave of you, bro, we need some freestyle. Okay. It's Monday. Exactly. We should chill. It's Monday.
Yeah, the Monday vibes.
Yeah, Monday vibes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we go like this, like, when everything I'm doing makes sense, oh my little baby, now for anything, Befutulale. I will be the one man that you see every night and day. Now for anything, ila koye sula lady. You give me fire, give me sensei. Guys drive me like a Bentley. Access granted, you can spoil my money. Koitele kantenya mandi. So me say mad settings. I love the fire where you're blessing like dragon. Too speedy and you're sipping like G-Wagon. I know you wanna be a friend to my. Your love is feeling to my heart like an ice.
Thanks, bro.
You know what? We're taking over. Trust it. With the people I'm seeing, we're taking over, man. And there's one artist I want to mention on this platform today that we should watch out for. Trust it. He's unique, man. Easy Mizzy, he's doing great in the music industry as well. He's a producer and a recording artist, but that guy's been dropping bomb upon bomb, man. He's dropped a video not long ago, but that video is massive as well. I'm going to make sure we have him on this platform. We talk about his music career and his production work as well. From my end, I'm saying bye-bye till I come your way tomorrow. I'm Skankman Sweezy, man. Don't forget, check me out on Instagram on Skankman Sweezy Black Boy, and Twitter, Skankman Sweezy, and Facebook, Sweezy B40. From my end, I'm saying bye-bye. Back to you. All works, no play, make Jackson Dull Boy.
Exactly, man.
Sounds more like a fuller, man.
A lot of names,
Skankman,
man.
Sweezy, Black, Fatty, I don't know.
Man, it's ugly, you know. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, yeah, now juice. Yes, thank you very much. Interesting in the studio as well.
it's always, I mean, good to be back.
Yeah, watch
here,
out for this boy, acidic, man. I mean,
he's doing some acidic stuff.
Yeah, I know, man. Yes, thank you very much, viewers, for watching. This is all we have for you on this edition of This Morning here on QTV. Our sponsors, One Stop Water Solutions, for all your water dispensers and filters. Visit them. They are located at Sukuta Jabang traffic lights. Until we come your way again, bye-bye for now.
ndox mu set te ndox mu set dafa bokk ci dunni doomu aadama te biir kat amul seetu waral na lépp lu fay dugg dafa war a doon li nga xamante ne ni lu indil doomu aadama bi loraange ci wàllu wér-gu-yaram One Stop Water Solution Limited ñu ngi fii ci biir réew taxaw temm fexe pour gis ne doomu aadama bu ne di nga naan ndox moo xamante ne ni ndox mu sell te wóor la ndax indil nañ leen ay xeetu filtres yi nga xamante ne ni mun ngeen koy jëfandikoo ci seeni pompe yi ci biir réew moo xam booxool ngay jëfandikoo wala pompe nawet yi ne bépp xeetu filtre bi nga xamante ne ni dina la indil wérgu yaram musal la ci loraange amal nañ leen ko ci biir réew am nañ 10-inch filter set of 3 bii nag ñett lay àndal bu ci ne ak li muy liggéey bokk na ci 5 micron pp sediment filter bii nag mooy segg ndox mi ba mu set génne fa lépp li nga xamante ne ni warta ànd ak ndox moomu bala nga koy jëfandikoo gak granule carbon filter bii nag mooy segg génne lépp lu xeetoog chemical ak organique yi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo nekk ci biir ndox mi sellal ndox mi ba waral mu soppi li nga xamante ne moom la ndox mi di saf mu soppi cafin gi def ko ndox mu sell te óor CTO block carbon filter bii nag du yem rek ci segg ndox mi sellal ko ba mu sell waaye nag daf koy yokk ay ngéneel yi nga xamante ne ni day baax ci wérgu yaramu doomu aadama bi dëgëral waaye tamit yàggal lool sa yuur wi am nañ tamit 12-inch filter set of 3 boobu it liggéey bu nu mel lay def ñetti filter yépp benn bu ne ak lu muy liggéey am nañ 10-inch post carbon 10-inch coconut carbon 75 GPD pure one membrane bi amal nañ leen bépp xeetu water tank tàmbalee ko ci 500 litres 5000 ba ci 1000 litres ak plumbing fittings kon nag mbokk yi bu ngeen buggee naan ndex yu sell te wóor seeti leen One Stop Water Solution Limited suñu makkaan bu mag baa nga foofa ca Sukuta Highway Mariama Kunda Johnson wala nga call ñu ci 505 5691 796 8272 One Stop Water Solution Limited ndox mu set mooy yàggal dund ni doomu